very keen on movies, the writing of movies, and over the years, I've noticed that there's a connection between a movie script or a finished movie and actually businesses. You may have seen this yourself, but I'd like to expand on this, starting with 10 facts about movie watching. Now, as you see each fact, I'd like you to think about the truth or otherwise of this statement. So more people choose to watch movies compared with listening to music. Now, that's not about, are there more people listening to music around the world than watching movies? This is about a choice, a conscious choice, when humans decide, okay, it's time to relax. What do they reach for first? Is it something they can hear and watch, or is it just something to listen to? Fact is, most people want to watch a moving picture. Secondly, we all know the difference between a good script and a poor script without any script writing training. And we do that from a very early age. Children know a great script, even at the age of 4 or 5, watching TV, because they tend to be mesmerized by the images that they're seeing. And if it's not the case, they switch off completely. They want to go away from the screen, do something completely different. So it's fascinating that we have this inbuilt ability from birth. A great movie moves time faster compared with a poor one. Well, that might apply to anything in life, but certainly with movies. A really good movie could be 3 hours long. And yet, if it's very exciting, it feels like time's gone by extremely quickly. Amazing movies tap into our hearts, minds, and subsequent decisions. When did you see a movie which moved you so much that it actually altered the way you thought about life in some shape or form? Storytelling is the most powerful way humans learn about life and what it is to be human, the human condition. And this has been going on since people lived in caves, and probably before that too. The idea of storytelling as being a great communication medium. More companies used storytelling to sell their products than ever before. That's key here. Storytelling has become connected with business by nature of its powerful influence over those who are listening or tapping into the story.
So I've got a bit of a confession to make. In the last few months, I've probably spent thousands of pounds on online courses. And a few weeks ago, a friend of mine asked what on earth I was doing. You do know, she said, that all that information is out there for free already. To be fair, she had a point. In fact, that's not even the half of it. The truth is, there is way more information on the internet for free than what I've paid thousands for. So have I lost my mind? I don't think so. The thing is, I don't want more information. I actually want less. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you, like me, feel overwhelmed by all the information thrown at us, which means the value is not in the info, but in the insight. It's not in the quantity, but the curation. So yes, I'm willing to pay thousands of pounds to someone who's worked out what's relevant for me and can take me from A to B to C in the shortest time possible. Now think about how that would work for a speech or a pitch or a presentation. It's not about how much we can cram in, but what we can leave out. It's about us doing the hard work of figuring out what our audience needs to know before we stand up in front of them, and streamlining our narrative so our insight has the best chance of survival. The value isn't in more, the value is in less.
The interesting thing about that clip is that this is what a really good story is about. If you're going to see the entire story with all the information supplied, that's not why people go to the cinema. In fact, that's a bit like a War and Peace situation where you've got so much information that you can't really make sense of it, and you can't enjoy it from an emotional point of view, which is probably why I've never read War and Peace. I mean, to me, why would you want to put yourself through that? I certainly wouldn't. And therefore, if someone came to me and said, look, Would you like to see War and Peace in 7 minutes with all the best bits? And it will really affect you emotionally. I'd go, I'd even pay for that, because I've always wondered what War and Peace is about. So I'd go, yeah, I'll pay for that. And it's the same in movies. Now, of course, I'm going to connect this to business in a moment. Storytelling is the heart of all effective selling. Pictures always paint 1,000s of words. We know that. We've heard that many times before. The good movie and script makes us want to ask pertinent questions in our minds. This, by the way, has a huge implication both with a movie and a business. A good movie or business makes us want to ask pertinent questions in our minds. Coming back to that, but going now on a business footing. So more people choose to watch movies compared with listening to music. The business aspect to this is that if you want to convey something about your business, consider making a movie, a clip, or something with images that grabs people's attention. Just talking about it, i.e. listening to music, is not enough. We all know the difference between a good and poor script. So here's the thing. If the messages in your business are not getting people's attention, then it's probably the words that you're using. A great movie moves time faster compared with a poor one. Your message should be such that it moves time for people. So it's not a case of someone listening and thinking, I'm not getting it, or you're telling me not enough, or you're telling me too much. It's just enough for the person to look in your direction and want to know more. Amazing movies change who we are, and so do amazing clips.
Hi, I'm Adam. Welcome to Barberology Tube. You're seeing this because you're not subscribed. Why? Here you can check out amazing DIY techniques, incredible new talent, special guests, new styles, and much, much more. This is what you're missing.
Let's get it started. I'm a devil. Jedi mind trick. Stay moist.
Press subscribe now.
The example I'm coming up to show you, and I think it's compelling because it's short, sharp, it's very human, and dare I say, very amusing.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
And that's why Storytelling is now being used more than ever before in businesses, particularly in our current times where more and more people are looking at their screens rather than at each other. What gets our attention is probably the thing to ask. What gets our attention in a movie, and therefore how can that be extrapolated to a business? Now I'd like to just go on to a dramatic question, because any good movie has a dramatic question that's embedded right at the start of the movie. So this is what a dramatic question is. It has to do with the central conflict involving your hero. The audience want an answer to the dramatic question, and it's the writer's job to ensure the solution isn't simple. Now, how this is applied to business is that the dramatic question has to do with your central problem involving your product posed early on. Customers want an answer to the dramatic question, and it's the business's job to ensure the solution is simple. A dramatic question in the movie Jaws would be something like, can one police chief who hates swimming and has a phobia about it take on a shark and avoid being eaten by it? I just made that up on the spot. I don't know if that was Steven Spielberg's dramatic question, but something like that needs to be held in front of the audience at the beginning of a movie for the audience to want to watch the rest of it. Equally, this is the same problem that you need to create so that your product can be the solution. Also in movies, there's something called a thematic statement. And it relates to the main idea and to some extent emotion of the story. What do you think, I wonder, is the thematic statement of Titanic? Is the Titanic about greed? Is the Titanic about mistakes? But we know that's not the theme, because we didn't go through all of that in the movie. That is what the Titanic's theme is all about: love. So it's a love story. It's not about it's not a disaster movie, it's a love story. And hence the imagery indicates that on all the movie posters. If they were going to do the Titanic again, and it was about confusion, then the movie posters would be different. And you'd see it as the theme to the movie. In movies that we probably take for granted are reversals. So the movie's going in a particular direction, and then suddenly, from nowhere, it now goes off in a completely different direction. Good example of reversals is The Sixth Sense. The hero of the movie, the Bruce Willis character, is in fact a ghost. And that's a huge reversal at the end. And for most people, they're just not expecting that. How does that relate to a product? Well, there are ways of reversing people's perception of your product, because you present it in a particular way, which might be rather standard, and then you switch it around in a way to show something that's perhaps a USP in your business that gets people's attention because it is a reversal. Another key useful tool in movies, opposites. So we will be aware of Laurel and Hardy. And to have opposites in a situation, it's unusual to have three men looking after a baby. That's kind of an opposite idea. Here in a business context are opposites. You've got a child, you've got a monster, and you've got honey. It's also about the words you use. In a movie, words are critical to get that critical acclaim. Now, a logline, a one-sentence description. So it describes your movie. And there's certainly an art to writing log lines. So you will know the log line that this movie relates to. how could you create something similar as a log line for your business? Just to finish now, I'm going to just give you highlights, 8 ways to use movies in your business. You need to know what your story is. Do you even have a story that relates to your business? If you haven't, you need to write one. I'm not suggesting you fabricate it, but just take the elements of your business and hook it together in a way where people kind of want to come a bit closer to you and know more about you because it's intriguing in some way. What's the dramatic question in your business? Probably you've never, ever thought of this. So it might be an idea to think about how you can pose a question that your customers want an answer to and are intrigued that you appear to have that answer. What's the theme of your business? Is it about love? Is it about greed? Probably not. Is it about community? Is it about insights? Is it about communication? What's the theme in your business? And by the way, if you perceive yourself to have a boring business because, well, there's so many businesses like mine out there, then you've got to come up with a theme that perhaps is a bit of a reversal. That is kind of, people are not quite expecting that from a business like yours. It's like, really? Do you really do that? Wow. How will you get your customers' attention? What is your hook going to be? And how will you keep customers' attention? This is normally through your service strategy, how you interface with your customers long term. That will grab their attention. Have you crafted the right words in your message? What's your powerful tagline, catchphrase, slogan? Do you even have one? More money, less worry. And do you have an elevator pitch? Now, your elevator pitch is your movie trailer. Think about it. This is the anatomy of a good elevator pitch. You start with a problem. You then say what the solution is. You mention what the benefits are in the way you do it, and you close on the results that your customers get. And you may or may not wish to add a USP, and you may or may not want to pose a question at the end.
Never thought of either breaking a movie down into those different sections as you explained in detail, and I suppose that's the benefit of script writing as well, because you're creating the whole thing. So that's very informative and helpful, and also how you related it to business was very clever, in my opinion.
I feel like I have a lot to do, a lot of work to do to bring myself up to this sort of standard, and I wonder where I'm going to find the time to do it all, really. But I think I need to make time, really. I need to take on less work, fee-paying work, if I can put it like that, and do more time, concentrating on things like this, because if I do that, I think I'll probably be able to command higher fees from higher paying clients rather than spending such a lot of time on the low paid stuff.
I think just an observation, it might be worth thinking about what business you're in. For example, British Airways, you might say they're an airline, but what if their business is getting people from A to B? Then the bit where you fly from one airport to another is only just one element. What about getting to the airport? And so if you rethink what you do, then obviously you can get a different perspective and maybe occupy
Yes, I do, because I don't think in the world today as we are that there are enough mentors and enough people who spread the happiness. What concerns me about the world today is how much mental health problems we seem to be getting. And Louise Oliver, who was not on with us at the moment, she's an hypnotherapist and works with children. And amazingly to me, some of the children that she's working with children at 7 and 8 and 9 year old who's got anxiety problems.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Glenn. It's been very interesting.
So, because we've had the interaction in the past, we have a set of USPs, etc. We've looked at elevator pitches in the past again for when we're looking at networking events and the like. I think it's always worth refreshing those, and it's always good to review where we're at, because it's not the world.
So yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just wonder whether it might be possible for, if you would send out everyone a list of everyone's phone number or email, and then we can all kind of encourage each other. You know, are you going to be there? Yes, I'll be there. See you there, 9 o'clock or 9:15, something like that. Sort of build a conversation, build a community feel about it, a bit like we would do if we were meeting, physically.
Realization is a new way to create what you most want in your life. It's based on proven principles of goal setting and goal getting from the world's smartest people. However, there's one major difference. You will not be doing this on your own. Every week, there's a realization call that lasts just 15 minutes. Apart from session content being shared with you, you'll have a realization coach who has already used the tools to great effect in their lives. There are 26 sessions in all, though you will be expected to start materializing your goals or milestones towards them in as little as 6 to 8 weeks. Though we suggest weekly sessions, you may elect fortnightly or monthly telephone support calls. Incidentally, you may stop the process at any time if it's not working for you. Maybe it's time for you to realize your most important goals, many of which may have been eluding you. Maybe it's time for realization.
Shortly, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much,
Thank you very
everybody.
much.